You're also going to be shown a simple technique that I developed, and that I like to call eating for fullness. Using the eating for fullness techniques, you'll not only feel full and satisfied after each meal you eat, but you'll actually be asked to eat more of the foods you love. Things like hot apple pie with ice cream, a smothered cheeseburger with fried onion strings, a sweet and smoky barbecue brisket sandwich, you name it. Plus, not only does eating more of the foods you love help with your body's insulin production and absorption, you'll even be losing weight while you do it. The reason why is that once you're adding the fullness-activating foods I'll give you inside Diabetes Deactivated, you'll stop having those bizarre food cravings that always seem to hit you at random. You'll be eating at a healthy, normal level each day without even thinking about it. And you'll feel better, have more energy, and watch as much as 20 pounds melt right off your belly in your very first month. Diabetes Deactivated contains everything you need to radically fight your diabetes in the next 30 days, guaranteed. And there's no strict diet, no meal plan to follow, no low-calorie recipes, none of that garbage. Instead, you're given one list of foods that will stop the ERK7 from being activated inside your body. A second list of foods that activate starvation mode and frees up your insulin production. And a simple step-by-step guide for eating for fullness. That's all it takes. Just check out the lists. Use the easy-to-follow guide, and in the next 27 days, you will have waged war against every single symptom of your diabetes. To date, 182,486 people have already used Diabetes Deactivated to do just that. People like Calvin Leonard of Provo, Utah, who writes, "I heard about Diabetes Deactivated from a friend, and I thought he was crazy. There are a lot of snake oil salesmen out there, and I just didn't believe that simply adding a few foods to my diet could permanently cure my diabetes. Honestly, the only reason I even tried your program was to show my friend what a fool he was. Except as it turns out, the joke's on me. 14 days is all it took for my blood sugar levels to go from 220 to an even 100. It's now been 5 months since that happened, and the highest reading I've had is 110. This is ridiculous. I simply can't believe how well it works. It's a tragedy that the mainstream media won't cover what's happening right now, because if they did, we could save millions of lives." And Harris Fowler of Bowling Green, Kentucky, who says, "I'm a pretty big science nut, and I'd actually heard of ERK7 before watching your video. In fact, I was even pretty aware of the fact that it was a major cause of my diabetes. But what I hadn't been able to figure out was how to stop that ERK7 from freezing up my insulin, and that's where your guide was such a lifesaver. The way I look at it, you saved me thousands of hours of independent research here. Instead, you took everything that's already been published, found the common thread, and then applied it to diabetes treatment in a brilliant way. It's quite impressive. And you know what else is impressive? The results. I haven't had an insulin shot in 7 months, and now my doctor has even gone so far as to declare me diabetes-free. Given the fact that I was considered diabetic for more than 30 years, I'd say that's a pretty big deal. Thanks." Or Nellie Branch of Sumter, South Carolina, who says, "I imagine when most people write to you about Diabetes Deactivated, it's going to be in regards to their blood sugar levels. I can certainly understand why. Personally, my blood sugar levels went from 260 to 115 within the first 21 days on your program. But equally impressive to me was the amount of weight I lost. Because I no longer have any of those terrible food cravings I used to, I've lost 25 pounds since starting on your program." Or Professor Solomon Ortega of Cambridge, Massachusetts, who says, "As an expert in human disease, I'm always wary of new products that promise dramatic results. That's why I was so pleasantly surprised by Diabetes Deactivated. Not only is the science fundamentally sound, but the program works. Diabetes has run in my family for years, but it won't be a problem for us any longer. Already both myself personally and my son, Christopher, have used your simple treatment, and I'm pleased to report that all of our symptoms are now gone. It's a tragedy that my university colleagues won't help support this. They're making a huge mistake." Those are just a few of the thousands of emails, letters, and phone calls I get from real Diabetes Deactivated users each month. This is a program that gives you back control of your health and lifts the horrible death sentence that's been hanging over your head ever since your diagnosis. And with that in mind, let me ask you a simple question. What would you give to get your life back again? To not